Hi friends, this is Chintan Shah, Chartered Accountant from Mumbai. Latitude Institute and CPC and Company have joined hands together to present to you a very basic and crisp course on GST. This course is mainly beneficial to MSME business owners, freshly graduates and freshly qualified Chartered Accountants. This course will help you to do the GST compliances, GST registrations and know all about the basic things about GST directly to your own. This course has been segregated into 7 parts. These parts are GST registration, LUT registration, e-way bills, GSTR returns in GSTR form 3B, GSTR 1, GSTR 2A matching, and the last part is ITC 04 return, which is a job work return. Now let us understand how many sessions will be there and how this whole course has been designed. So GST registration will be covered in 2 sessions, GST LUT registration will be covered in 1 session, e-way bills will be taking 2 sessions, GSTR 2A returns will be covered in 2 sessions, GSTR 3B in 3 sessions, GSTR 1 in 3 sessions, and the last one ITC 04 returns into 2 sessions. Now ITC 04 is a job work return. When a goods are being sent to job work by some person and they are returned back, you need to report to the government, and that is what is covered in ITC 04, and it is a return which is generally missed out by most of the business entities. Now let us understand how the tax structure has been designed in India. The taxes in India has been bifurcated into 2 parts. One is direct tax and one is indirect tax. The direct tax is the tax levied directly by the government, and as the name suggests, indirect tax is the tax charged by the government on you indirectly. Direct taxes. What does direct taxes cover? Generally, the general examples of direct tax are income tax, fringe benefit tax, gift tax, wealth tax, etc. Indirect tax. What are indirect taxes? The general examples of indirect tax can be, the basic thing is GST. The other examples are professional tax, stamp duty, etc. Now let us focus on GST. What is the Goods and Services Tax Act and how it came into picture in India? On 1st July 2017, through the 101st Amendment, the government brought into force the Goods and Services Tax, which is very well known as GST. Now what did the GST do? The government came together and brought all of the indirect taxes, most of them, and it converted it into a single tax of Goods and Services Tax, which is GST. Taxes like VAT, taxes like service tax, taxes like excise duty, additional excise duty, cesses on textiles, etc. were all cancelled, and one single tax of GST was introduced from 1st July 2017. Now let us understand what GST registration means and when an entity is required to take GST registrations. The GST registration has to be taken compulsorily by a person who is doing a business and who is located within India. Now, doing a business, it can be of 2 types. One, if you are doing a business of goods. One, if you are doing a business of services. So you are providing services. So now the government says that if you are a trader of goods, manufacturer of goods, or doing a business of goods, then there is a certain criteria and certain limits where you need to take compulsory GST registration. And if you are a provider of service, then there are certain another criteria where compulsory GST registration is required. Let us understand what are the limits where you need to take the GST registration. So firstly, if you are a goods trader, if you are dealing completely in goods, then you need to take compulsory GST registration if your turnover limit is above 40 lakhs in class A state and about 20 lakhs in class B states. Now let us understand what are class A and class B states. Class A states are the states where the government feels that those are a good economic states and they need a higher limit for GST compliance, and class B states are the other states where the government has reduced the limit for compulsory GST registration. Now the examples of class A and class B states are there on the screen. Further, if you are a service provider or if you are a goods and service provider, then the turnover limit reduces. So if you are a service or goods plus service dealer, then if your turnover crosses 20 lakhs, you need to take compulsory registration in class A states, and if your turnover crosses 10 lakhs, then you need to take compulsory registration in class B states. Going ahead, now let us understand certain criteria or certain scenarios where you need to take compulsory registration. Now, compulsory registration has already been explained, where the turnover limit and the location of the state is very important. But in the following criteria, you need to take compulsory registration even if your turnover is 1 rupee. Who are those persons and what are the scenarios? Let us understand. So, if you are a casual taxable person, or if you are liable to pay tax under reverse charge, or if you are a TDS or TCS deductor, you need to take compulsory registration under GST. Other persons are interstate taxable supply provider. So if you are supplying a goods or a service interstate from one state to another, you need to take compulsory registration. Other categories are e-com operators, persons who are providing a platform for e-commerce, e-com service provider. So say suppose you are trading goods through e-commerce provider, you need to take compulsory GST registration. A non-taxable person, a person who is a input service distributor, these all people need to take compulsory GST registration without regards to the limits specified previously. Now let us understand certain specific points which you need to remember while considering whether to take GST registration or not. The limits which I have already spoken. Now how to compute those limits? Let us understand. First, if you are an exempt supplier or a nil rated goods supplier, then you don't need to take registration if you are 100% applicable into exempt or nil category. First thing. Second thing, if you are a mixed supplier, say suppose you are also trading in exempt goods and also in taxable goods, then you need to combine both the turnovers and then consider for the limit of 40 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs as applicable. Third and most important thing that you need to remember is the PAN based turnover is considered for the liability to take GST registration. What does PAN base mean? Say suppose you are a dealer in Delhi and you are also doing business in Karnataka. Both the states turnover will be clubbed and then the limit of 40 lakhs or 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs will be determined for compulsory GST registration. Here you need to take note that voluntary GST registration is allowed to each and everyone. So say suppose you want to take GST registration even if your turnover does not match, you are allowed to take GST registration and you can comply with the GST law. Now let us understand composition scheme. What is a composition scheme? So government said that a dealer who is a small dealer and having a turnover up to a specific limit, he can opt for a composition scheme where he will be charging the tax at a specific rate which is lower than the normal GST rate, and he will not be allowed to take input credit. So basically he can just pay the tax and he is free from any other credit mismatching or other things. Now here you need to consider that how the composition scheme impacts you. First and foremost, you need to take care that the input credit is disallowed. So if you are into the composition scheme, you will not be able to take input credit of any purchases or any services that you have purchased into your GST return. Second thing, which is a benefit, is that you are free from compliance. A lot of compliances under composition scheme goes away. You need to file one single annual return and you will be liable to pay taxes on a quarterly basis. So this will help you to free your mind from all the compliance and focus on the business. The limit for composition scheme is 1.5 crore. So if your turnover of goods is up to 1.5 crore, you can opt for composition scheme at a reduced rate of 1% or 3% as applicable, and you can go away with all the compliances. Second part, if you are a service provider, still the government has introduced the composition scheme from 1st April 2019 that you charge GST of 3% CGST, 3% SGST, and you can still opt for a composition scheme and you can free yourself from all the compliances. The composition scheme is a very good scheme for small provider, but there you need to again take care that input credit is missed. Your total input credit is a cost to you. Moving ahead, let us understand how to take GST registration. GST registration is a very simple process. We will explain you with the help of a live demo how to do a GST registration. But before the live GST application, let us understand what are the documents that you need to prepare and you need to keep with you so that a GST registration can be done on a one shot. We will be giving you the list of documents and also a synopsis of all the scenarios and what all documents are required for GST registration. Let us start with a proprietary concern. So if you are a proprietary concern and you need to take GST registration, then you need to take care of the following points while doing the GST registration, and the following documents are to be kept ready with you in a scan copy. First, you need to have a business detail. and the PAN detail of the owner. The PAN detail will be the PAN card of the owner, proprietor being the proprietorship concern, the same PAN is used for the business. Second point, place of business. The place of business should be either self-occupied or it may be rented or it may be for free consent. If it is a rented premise, then you need to have a rent agreement and also the NOC from the owner. Next, the product description. Whatever goods or services that you are going to deal, you need to have the SSE code for services and HSN code for the goods that you will be dealing, because these details are added in your GST registration and it plays a very vital role when you start your business. Next is the bank detail. You need to have the cancel check of the bank, or else you can also have a bank statement with the first page with your name on it. And the last thing is the authorized signatory. The authorized signatory in case of the proprietor is generally the proprietor himself. So then his mobile number, his email ID and his digital signature may be required while doing the GST registration. Partnership firm. A partnership firm has a separate PAN of itself. So for a partnership firm, you will be requiring the PAN of the partnership firm and the partnership deed. The partners, they will have to submit their PAN card, their Aadhaar card, mobile number and email ID. Place of business. For the place of business of the firm, you will either require the original electricity bill copy, or if it is a rented place, the same, the rent agreement and the NOC from the owner. Next, product description. You will have to mention the HSN and SSE code of the product and service that the firm will be dealing. Next, the bank details. The cancel check of the bank with the name of the firm is required for the GST registration. Next, authorized representative. If the firm wants to mention one of the partner as the authorized representative, the other partner will have to give a authority letter to that partner, and that person will be considered as the authorized representative for GST registration, and the number can be applied, the GST number can be applied with his authorized representative signature and digital signature. Coming ahead, HUF. Similar as partnership firm, the HUF also has a separate PAN of itself. So the points remains almost the same. For HUF, the business will have to submit their PAN card and the HUF deed. The HUF Karta and the co-personal will have to submit their PAN card, Aadhaar card, email ID and mobile number. The place of business, again, if it is owned, then you need to submit the electricity bill with the name of HUF. If it is rented, you need to submit the rent agreement and NOC. If it is a rent free, so say suppose the Karta is the owner of business, he can also give the premises as a rent free premises to the HUF and the number can be occupied on that place. Going ahead, the product description, HSN SSE code, the bank details, cancel check with the name of HUF, and the last is the authorized person. Generally it is a Karta, so all the co-partners will have to authorize the Karta to be the authorized representative and GST number can be applied. Going ahead, the last category that we are going to cover is the company. Either it can be private limited company or a limited company. For a company, you need to have the PAN card, the MOA and AOA ready with you. The directors, all the directors will have to submit their PAN card, Aadhaar card, email ID and mobile number. Going ahead, the place of business, the criteria remains the same. If it is owned, the electricity bill with the name of the company. If it is rented, the rent agreement along with the NOC from the owner. If it is a rent free, say suppose some director has allowed the firm to be registered, the company to register in that address, the director need to give a consent letter. Going ahead, the product, you need to have the HSN and SSE code, the bank detail, the bank account with the name of the company, private limited or limited company, and last the authorized representative. Here any one of the director can be made the authorized representative, and all other directors need to have a board resolution authorizing the specific director to act on behalf of the company and apply for GST registration. Now, these are the entities generally for which GST registration is taken. We will give you a one-pager synopsis of all the documents and all the details that you need to prepare before applying for GST registration. So the next video will have the live example of the GST registration where we will cover a GST registration of a proprietor, but the concept remains the same, the procedure remains the same, and you will be able to take GST registration for all the entities with all the documents ready with you. Thank you for viewing this video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get more updates and more informative videos from us. Thank you.